that is to prevent money laundering and client data pilferage. Now, the government also plans to take an active role in the corporate leadership for crypto companies seeking licenses in Kenya. Now, the regulators will vet their executives and directors to ensure their professional qualifications match with the tasks they will actually undertake. Now, if you take a look at this from the long view, actually, one of the chief executive officer said that the board of directors of a license shall comprise of natural persons only, and the director shall actually not serve in more than one board. That's what the bill states. Now, the relevant regulatory authority may from time to time prescribe the eligibility criteria, that is, with a person applying of being designated to become, that is, a chief executive officer. Now, the proposed law comes at a time when the virtual asset glows in fortune worldwide. Now, after Kenya Revenue Authority that is announced last year that it had actually bagged a significant amount of taxes from the sector, the government definitely has been looking for ways to entrench its culture and the nascent financial sphere. But cryptocurrency is not issued by the central authority, making it difficult for governments to actually manipulate and control it. However, due to unsupervised nature of many digital financial assets, there are also elaborate pathways for transactions that is in legal trade. Of course, some believe that, I remember sometime one of the leading CEOs of the biggest crypto exchange, Binance, was actually being accused of funding terrorists, that since the cryptocurrency is not regulated, so there are high chances that they're actually funding terrorists, rebels, and all that, the different nations to topple down governments, in that line. Now, the requirement to operate fiscal offices is going to be tough one. It's going to be a tough one. That is for regulators to implement, because many crypto firms across the world don't even have fiscal offices and official headquarters, and the requirement to have accessible documentation may also be against some of the founding principles on which cryptocurrency is actually built on. Now, the requirements may also be hard to implement due to the difference between the fast changes in technology in the technology space and the slow pace of the government policies and regulations, which often see the latter paying catch up. Now, there are limitations in trying to control the digital assets, which are actually rules borrowed from fiat and physical assets, which can be limited by physical boundaries. So the generation of the cryptocurrency, I think that is going to make it a legit business, because as we speak, not so many people really take cryptocurrency as a legit business. And we have, I think, one country so far in Africa that made a cryptocurrency a legal tender. It is actually accepted for you to use cryptocurrency, and that is Central African Republic, CAF. The Central African Republic is one of those countries that have made cryptocurrencies a legal tender. And in countries like Salvador, one of the ways they used to offset, the nation's rising debt was to own Bitcoin, and it's among the countries that actually hold a lot of Bitcoin on a global scale. So Uganda recently, I think it was early this month, that was 2 weeks back approximately, when the government also considered to regulate cryptocurrency, because according to the research, it was observed that transactions that are actually carried out in Uganda reach about 700 million United States dollars. So you can imagine it's a lot of money, it's a lot of money that is not even regulated. Well, switching away from that, a new report has actually been issued about the Kenyans that are working in diaspora. And according to what has been the observations, the inflows are actually doubled, have reached their all-time high. Now, diaspora remittances, Kenya's biggest source of foreign inflows, hit all-time high in 2024. Now, the diaspora remittances hit an all-time high in 2024, clocking about to 4.95 billion. That is about 640 billion Kenyan shillings, and 18% jump from 4.19 billion in 2023. Now, the diaspora inflows in December 2024 alone reached an all-time monthly high of about 445. That is higher than 423.2 million dollars in November. Now, according to the data from the Central Bank of Kenya, the United States was the largest source of remittances to Kenya throughout 2024, accounting for 51% of the total inflows in the year. Now, the 2024 numbers slightly surpassed the 4.92 billion, or about 17.5% growth projection by the central bank at the final monetary policy committee meeting in 2024. Now, this is the beauty about this. Many times, it's like majority of the people when they make money in Uganda, they go abroad to spend this money. But the Kenyans are actually doing it different. Instead of spending the money in the United States of America, they have decided to actually bring back the money to their home country, and that is actually helping them to grow economically. So that means, what are the chances if the remittances actually keep coming in quite a great deal? What are the chances that it can actually reach as far as 5.2% economic growth, to contradict what the International Monetary Fund thought about the country? Because the International Monetary Fund saying that Kenya's economy is likely to decline by about 4.7%. So how is that really going to happen? Let's wait and see the end result. Now, the United States remains the largest source of remittances, contributing 51%. So most of the money that actually the Kenyans abroad are bringing back to the country in Kenya, most of it is actually coming from the United States, contributing about 50%. So it is the biggest shareholder. So the 49% is actually shared by other countries, you know. But of course, what will it mean for President Donald Trump? You know, the fact that he's now in office officially, what will that mean in terms of his foreign policies? You know, America first. So that can actually affect the diaspora remittances. What if he starts to tax foreigners highly, you know, compared to what they are being taxed? That would be something very bad. Now, since 2015, diaspora remittances have been the largest source of foreign inflows in the country in Kenya, ahead of tourism, foreign direct investment, and key agriculture exports, which such as horticulture and tea at the same time. Now, Saudi Arabia has surpassed the United Kingdom to become the second largest source of remittances that are coming into Kenya. You can't imagine that. Now, with the shift indicative of the evolving migration laws that have made it harder for Kenyans to move to European countries, while Gulf countries have actually become favorable due to their budgeting labor needs. Now, in Africa, Tanzania tops the list of remittances sources to Kenya, that is amounting to 6.9 million, followed by Uganda, that is 5.7 million, and South Africa. Now, we're talking about the remittances that are coming in from Uganda and heading to Kenya, you know, coming in from South Africa and heading to Kenya. Now, the consistent growth in remittances in 2024 actually boosted the shilling and continues to hold the currency stable. Now, the growth in remittances continues to support Kenya's current account and stability of the exchange rate. That's according to what the Central Bank of Kenya really added. Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs estimates that more than 3 million Kenyans reside in the diaspora, with the majority in the United States and the United Kingdom. Now, according to the World Bank data, Kenya leads in diaspora remittances in the East African region, surpassing Somalia's $1.7 billion and Uganda's $1.5 billion. DRC, it's worth $1.4 billion, and South Sudan, it's $1.1 billion, according to the remittances that actually come into these countries. So Kenya's diaspora is very active, and I think they're patriotic, you know, in that kind of a sense, because many Ugandans, when they make some money, actually they start to plan how to stay in any country. It could be America, it could be in the UK. they try to forge about life and, well, because remember, if we compare, the money that is repatriated from Africa back to the United States of America, you know, to any country in Africa, and we compare the remittances that the diaspora, the African diaspora in the United States of America, what do they bring back home? You find that what actually comes out of Africa to the United States of America, to Europe, to China, to Asia, is actually way more than compared to what comes from those countries, the citizens of the African countries that are operating in those countries, they actually bring back less money. We should fight hard to have more remittances coming into that, but of course that comes with being patriotic, in the longer run. Now that is it for the Caribbean East Africa, and now let's switch and take a look at what's making headlines on the international scene. Donald Trump considers a 10% tariff on China from February. Now, the United States President Donald Trump has said that he's considering imposing the 10% tariff on imports of Chinese-made goods as soon as past February. Now, Trump said that discussions with his administration were based on the fact that they are sending fentanyl to Mexico and Canada. Now, it followed threats by Donald Trump to levy imports. That is import taxes of 25% on Mexico and Canada, accusing them of allowing undocumented migrants and drugs to come into the United States. Now, in a press conference in Washington on Tuesday, Trump also vowed to hit the European Union with tariffs. You can imagine. You can imagine. Now, I'm trying to imagine, what does that really mean for the global economy, Now, this is what he said, that China is an abuser, but the European Union is very, very, very bad to us. That's what Trump said. China is a problem, but the European Union is the greatest enemy of the United States of America. That's according to what Trump says. It's not factual, it's just an opinion. Now, he said that they treat us very badly, and so they are going to be in for the tariffs. And it's the only way you're going to get back. Now, it's the only way you're also going to achieve fairness. That's according to what Trump said. Now, shortly after he sworn in on Monday, 2 days back, the new president also instructed federal agencies to conduct a review of the existing trade deals and identify unfair practices in the United States trading partners. Now, meanwhile, a top Chinese official spoke out against protectionism at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Now, China's vice premier, that is, called for a win-win solutions to trade disputes without monitoring the United States. Now, on the campaign trail, Donald Trump promised to place tariffs as high as 60% on Chinese goods. Now, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has promised that is to fight back. Now, this is what he said, that if the United States president does choose to proceed with the tariffs, Canada will respond and everything is on the table. This is according to what Trudeau said. Now, Ottawa is preparing counter tariffs in response to the threat, reportedly worth billions of dollars. Now, Canada, Mexico are top of the United States trading partners. Now, tariffs, of course, are important part of Trump's economic plans. And actually, recently he said that the best word that he loves in the dictionary is tariffs. So you can imagine that. Now, the president believes that they can boost, the tariffs can actually boost growth, protect jobs, and the raise tax revenue. But many economists say that such measures could actually lead to higher prices for the Americans, and harm companies will actually hit by the foreign retaliation. Of course, no one is safe, at least for additional time, because at first we thought that the tariffs will apply to the greatest enemies that are considered to be for America. But now it seems like even the partners of the United States of America are not safe, as a result of the tariffs that are going to be really passed out. No one is safe, no country is safe. So We just need to be prepared and think about what is the way forward as a result. And now we see that still in other stories, when Trump came to power, he immediately announced a $500 billion Stargate venture to build artificial intelligence infrastructure. Now, the United States president says the venture will actually be the largest artificial intelligence project in history by far. Now, the United States President Donald Trump has announced a $500 billion point venture with Texas-based tech firm Japan SoftBank and ChatGPT maker OpenAI to advance artificial intelligence infrastructure. Now, Trump made an announcement at the White House event on Tuesday that was joined by SoftBank CEO, that is Masayoshi Son, that is OpenAI CEO. Then there is Sam Altman and Oracle Chief Technology Officer, that is Larry Ellison. Now, Trump said the venture would actually be the largest artificial intelligence project in history by far, and represented a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential under the new administration. And he said that it's all taking place right here in the United States of America. As you know, there is a great competition for artificial intelligence, and other things, they are coming in at the biggest level. That's according to what the president said in a report. Now, the so-called Stargate venture will actually see the three companies initially commit $100 billion, raising about $500 billion over the next 4 years. Now, the funding will actually be used to build colossal data centers and other infrastructure support needed to support artificial intelligence and ensure the future of technology. This is according to what Donald Trump said. So Trump's announcement actually came a day after he revoked an executive order by the former United States President Joe Biden that established safety guidelines for artificial intelligence development. Now, the rules would actually have required the companies to share the results of safety tests with the United States government, among other provisions. Now, after Trump's executive order, Stargate and other United States artificial intelligence projects will actually no longer be subject to national development guidelines, although many states still impose these sanctions. Now, in brief remarks on Tuesday, Sun said Stargate would actually be the beginning of the golden age. Now, Stargate will also bring one of the United States top tech companies into the fold, according to OpenAI. Yeah, so they are building all that. And recently, we had one of the profound billionaires, Bill Gates, planning to invest in nuclear energy because they believe that nuclear energy has the ability to power up artificial intelligence data centers. Now, they need to run with nuclear energy to perform effectively. And now, finally, as we wind up the international updates, the future of fintech in Africa. Now, many businesses in Africa depend on fintech solutions to facilitate that is cross-border payments in over 42 different currencies across the continent. Now, the fintech industry has actually transformed the monetary ecosystem rapidly in the last decade, with Kenya leading the global revolution in mobile money, allowing seamless transactions for the consumers. Now, the Kenya Wall Street, in collaboration with the Kora on a Reef, they hosted a webinar in regarding to that. Now, over the past 5 years, Africa's fintech landscape, according to the report, has experienced significant transformation marked by rapid growth, increased investment, growth explosion, and evolving challenges. Now, in the past few years, the governments, including Kenya, Nigeria, Benin, Ethiopia, have taken on digital IDs to drive inclusion and penetration while enhancing service delivery. Now, the continent witnessed increased digitalization of business payments that is beyond the traditional peer-to-peer where the journey actually began. Now, with the financial services integrated into the non-financial platforms, broadening access to financial tools. Now, the years were marked by automation of different services with more specialization and niche products and services coming to the fore with the tailored customer experience. Now, regulatory clarity, where the policy makers have actually forced innovation, prompting building of interesting solutions, such as embedded credit in the buy now, pay later. Now, the embedded finance has revolutionized global money movement by reducing friction, optimizing for speed, and solving challenges around trust, legal compliance, and security. Now, according to Stephen Olutobi, that is the chief operating officer at the current traditional methods used to take close to 2 weeks to finalize cross-border transactions. Now, it was faster to take a bus to the border than make payments and come back. Now, that is how slow it was to transact for about 10 years ago. That is what Stephen said. So, recently, Africa has had challenges when it comes to finding startups because the startup actually declined by about 40%, I think. 40 to 50%. It was quite a great deal. Actually, it could have been even 60%. It was quite a great deal of decline into that. And what does that mean? It means that there is a lot of competition. Remember, there are thousands of innovations across the world, and every person is trying to compete for that space to have a very outstanding innovation. So that means there is a lot of competition, and you need to play your A game if you're to really make it there. So make sure that if you're innovating something, it's actually solving a problem. You know, it's not about feeling good about the composition. You know, in Uganda, we have something that is quite funny. Many times, if you've designed a program, you know, and you feel like you've used a lot of code, you're more proud to present to the people what you went through, how you designed it. But at the end of the day, people are not interested in how your code is actually built. People are interested in how what you have built is actually going to make their work easy. You know, are you providing the solution? That is the key to breaking through. Well, that is it for our international report. And of course, in case you just joined us all the way from Caribbean, East Africa, Kenya proposes to regulate crypto firms, and he says that they should have physical offices, and then remittances from diaspora, from the Kenyan diaspora, have hit the all-time high in 2025. And of course, Donald Trump considers to kickstart the tariff plan on 1st February for China, and also investing into artificial intelligence infrastructure data center. That is part of Donald Trump's initiatives as he's in office. Well, let's go for the break now. When I return, we shall take a look at what's making headlines. Of course, in business, we shall have the business updates and our business tips and quads. Stick around.